Okay. I know you've read or heard about that game, movie, or comic, blah, blah, but you haven't heard it from us. So chill, relax, let us talk all about it before you log off.
Just letting you know how it goes. Ready to start? All right, here we go. What's up, everybody? I'm Sir Aaron Carter, and you're listening to Before You Log Off, of course. We're here again with Steven Gutierrez.
What's up, people?
And Adam C.
What's up, peep?
And we just spent like 7 hours
Was that good
before even recording the show speaking
good.
about
Yeah, you don't finish
little
the
things.
last word.
That was good enough.
Is it
What up,
PE? Is that
I didn't know what to say, so I
Purple?
just copied Steven's.
That's
Just
fine.
called-
I mean, you kind of did that last week, too.
Yeah,
Like,
you
I
did.
am
No,
Steven
I took his
Gutierrez.
name last time.
Took his whole idea.
Now I took
Why are
his,
you just taking
now I
everything
took his
from
greeting. Next is his social.
That's terrible. Do you even use
You can have some of
social?
my fat if you want that.
That's horrible.
So gladly give that up.
Episode 9? Is that what we were doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I figured by
I feel like
episode
we're
10, we
around
should
1,000,
start
man.
like actually naming the
Getting
episodes.
money for okay.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Actually put some work into this instead of actually just letting it ride as, hey, this is generic 1. Right?
We
Yeah?
can do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Generic one's gonna be the
we were
first
just gonna-
episode.
Welcome to episode
Or 10.
3012.
I mean, we don't have to, but, you know. Actually, I don't think we should.
Let's nonconformist.
I don't
right?
know.
Let's-
We'll let it
Welcome
ride.
to the next episode after the last episode.
The next episode.
So what took us so long to even start recording in the beginning here is because let me go to my phone real quick because a user on the Twitter used Twitter
That's terrible.
to hit me up.
This is the worst description of.
He's stalling. It's a tactic.
It's
to
a very
to
thank
find
you.
the Twitter
Thank you.
post.
So I want to shout the guy out because he, you know, Joker NHQ3 on Twitter. Give him a follow, I guess. I don't know. What
Is
do you
it
do? What do you do? What do you do?
Is that a, I'm not a robot code? What
That's
is-
basically. He said, hey, before you log off, I know it's not a news article, but you should present your own list to this question, basically, which is, if you had to introduce someone to your taste in movies, what 5 titles would you screen for them? So you got $1 billion. You just built this big stadium-sized theater, and this random person walks in. Hey, what's going on? What's all this here?
What do you got going on?
You're standing right in the middle, Steven and Adam, both of you two, right in the middle of the theater, and Joe Schmo, or what's the
Kidnap victim number
what's the
one.
female equivalent
Apparently.
of Joe Schmo?
Joe's apartment.
No, the female. Okay, Adam.
I don't know how you get that from that. Joe Schmo.
Well, I just went with Joe. And
The
then
female equivalent
You
to
put me on
Joe
the spot.
Schmo? Okay, so anyway, random person walks
Didn't
in,
hear that.
sees you in the middle with a remote in your hand. You turn around and click, and the movie comes on is Adam.
Am I picking 5 or am I going?
Yeah,
with
pick your
1?
5.
Okay.
Pick your 5.
So I have decided these are movies that I've watched over and over again in my life.
Okay.
Once I can quote almost from beginning to end. So I went with Spaceballs.
Okay.
Solid pick.
Mel Brooks.
Solid pick.
Steven helped me with this one, Princess Bride.
Very good.
Also
I
a
watched
solid
that
pick.
for years on end.
A little disgusted that it was chosen, and I forgot about that one. But go ahead.
So, yeah, make sure to cross these off your lists.
Yes,
because
that-
you
yeah.
only get one.
Oh, you mean the list that you just copied from me?
Wow.
Yes. But I'm first, so you have to cross them out.
You son of a bitch.
Schindler's List. I went with.
So
Um,
again,
My list.
random stranger walks in, and you're popping on Schindler's List.
Yes.
First of all, you kidnapped a guy. Now you're showing him
It's
Murdered All the Jews movie.
you look at it as a tragedy, obviously. I mean, look, all these,
Because what else are you looking at? It's comedy.
But
that's horrible.
this-
that is a horrible thing.
if you're watching the movie, this one person who was engulfed by all, like he totally believed in what the Nazis. Well, maybe not believed in, but he was all for what the Nazis were
He
doing.
was
He was
Sorry.
profiting
he
from
was
it.
pro-Nazi.
profiteer,
He was
yeah.
pro-Nazi. Yes.
But then he ended up turning into this person who fought against them, saving people's.
is what you're saying. Anti-Nazi.
Let's calm down. All right. But saving thousands of lives. So I mean, I think it's just a good story. If you look at it for historical accuracy and stuff, yeah, it's obviously going to be devastating. But if you look at it as a movie, I think it has all the elements to it.
What is that? 2?
That's
3?
two. That's
3?
2.
Okay. 2.
And to stick it to the man, I picked Bicentennial Man because
AI is better.
Oh, you
way
picked that
better
one.
than AI.
AI is better.
Dang.
And
I like
just
Bicentennial Man.
another
It's
one.
good.
I can't
It's pretty.
believe
It's pretty sad though.
I think that's the point. I think
So Schindler's List, you're on like a sad list.
So you want this person to come in and commit
Well,
suicide
Princess
is what you want to do,
Well,
right?
look at it. So Princess Bride has all the elements, right?
No, that's a good one.
No,
Yeah.
it's a solid one.
Schindler's List has
And then
all
you
the elements.
just went straight into the motions.
Bicentennial Man has all
Again.
minus action. It's not really a lot of action in that movie, if any. I
It's
guess
got
there's-
funny parts.
Action?
There's no action in that movie.
Okay, I was going to say Bicentennial Man?
I
What?
think
he's
someone threw a
dancing.
tomato at
It's like
somebody.
he's cooking or something?
When he's dancing. Yeah.
And then I did. So that's what I got. I did Spaceballs too, didn't I? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have one left. And then I went ahead and picked
Oh, you did do Spaceballs. That's all right.
Shawshank Redemption.
So again, yeah, you want this guy kind of...
You started him at like happiness, and then you just took it away. Sadness.
That is my life. It's just funny up front, and then the rest of it is just
Sadness?
dark and brooding.
That's horrible. Steven, you want to hit your 5?
Man.
Top that.
This is so tough.
He
No,
said, yeah, sure, I can.
This
Holocaust documentaries.
This
Let's see,
was hard
Hotel
time.
Rwanda.
Baton March. What else we
God
go
damn,
with?
those are two sad things, guys. Stop this. My goodness. You know what? I'm gonna go with Ghostbusters as the first one. I think that's a movie. that
Solid
people should
movie.
see.
Wait, be specific. Which one?
I'm gonna go with the first one.
Yeah,
on
there's
this.
no way he said
Thank you.
Ghostbusters if
Yeah,
he's living
but
it.
hey,
Because
Ghostbusters. Which one?
I-
72.
I can't
Ghostbusters
start
72.
a
2000,
series.
2015,
You're-
16, what was it?
Who watched that movie?
Ghostbusters?
What's wrong
Somebody
with you?
watched it.
Oh.
Are you talking about the one with Leslie Mann? No,
Bill Murray.
There you go.
Yeah, all those people.
Just want people to be clear. Just want people
Dan
to be clear.
Aykroyd, Harold Ramis.
That's a good movie, but I couldn't have that be like...
I don't know.
No,
you picked Schindler's List.
Yeah, I did.
Good lord.
Yeah, I did.
Anyway, Steven, continue,
Okay.
please. Please.
Yes, I did.
Tangents. Welcome to
going back to Mel Brooks. Robin Hood
Hotel
Men in
Rwanda.
Tights.
Oh, okay.
Men in Tights. Good one.
Oh my God. Yeah, that movie.
We're men,
great.
manly men.
And then I'm gonna go Marvel's Avengers.
Okay.
What
It has a place,
Okay.
place in my
No,
heart.
it's a good movie. It's just a good
What
one.
a cop out.
That's 3. This to me, this is a cop out. Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay, I can.
It's
I would take that 1,000 times over Avengers.
I don't know. I like Nightmare Before Christmas, but it wouldn't be one that I'm
That
showing
movie
the
defined
person.
my
that
childhood.
had
Like,
that
that
had a
was-
special place in my heart because I would literally watch that same VHS tape over and over all day long.
Not only could you watch it during 2 holidays of the year because it qualified as both, but it was just a good movie.
Was that Easter and Martin Luther King's birthday? Is that what
You know what? For you, Aaron? Yes. Yes.
What is that?
Jack? I'm black, everybody.
Oh my!
Avengers.
You never know, Aaron.
Nightmare Before Christmas. And you know what? I'm gonna end on Terminator 2.
Ooh.
Much better than Terminator 1. I'll give
Take
you
a
that.
laugh. Yeah, it is. It's actually the best in the series.
Yeah, it's literally the best in the series.
What was the
One
third
of my
one?
favorite movies since I was a child.
I don't remember the third one.
Yeah, because it wasn't memorable.
It was with
Was the third one like
girl.
15 years
It was with,
later, or was
It was with the
Christina
lady.
Loken as the Terminator
It's very attractive.
So that was like 20 years later or
but the
something, right?
movie was not attractive.
when it came out.
20 years after the second one?
I don't think it was 20 years.
No, because the second one was like 97, 96.
Yeah, 90s for sure. I just don't.
It actually could have been earlier.
Terminator 3 was 2003. Terminator 2 is 91.
91.
So a whole
12 years
I'm off.
later.
12 years later. Yes, math. We all know math.
That's my
That's all I got.
my 5. And that is hard. That is a hard because I have
Did you put them in any
like
specific?
20 on
Did you
this
put them in
list.
any specific order?
no. I just threw them
Yeah,
out.
no. I
So,
mean, this was kind of just throw them
just
out
threw
there.
'em out.
I went on Twitter, and if you haven't seen my tweet,
I copied and pasted someone else's list.
I went actually with all different ones than you guys. I'm surprised nobody really
no,
overlapped.
I wanted to say the ones I know is probably on your list, but I didn't because I didn't want you to have to call an
I
audible.
mean,
and-
it didn't matter
Did you
to
do
me.
Super Mario?
Yeah, Super Mario. Yeah, no.
Guilty pleasure of mine. Not gonna lie, guilty pleasure of mine. I will watch that movie.
I
Dennis
did.
Hopper.
I did Clue.
It's a good one.
Really?
Solid.
Yeah,
Solid.
Clue is like one of my
I
favorite
like how you
movies.
snuck that. No, you just totally kept that under wraps.
Oh, yeah,
I
I
was
was
kept it a secret.
You piece of shit.
was not gonna say it. To
That was his
anybody.
trap card.
That was a very good movie.
Coming to America, of
Yeah, I
course.
was
You
gonna be
racist.
on my list.
You
Gotta
racist.
go with that one. Captain America: Civil War. Yeah.
Solid. I can't argue with that.
It's my favorite.
I
one
try
out
to
of the
stay away
Marvel.
from anything comic related.
But no, I mean, like if I'm showing this person, I'm like, I like these comic book movies. I like this type of stuff. So that it trickles down to other other things.
Triples
Yes.
down.
I
don't like it.
1992's Much Ado About Nothing.
Okay.
See, there it is.
That's a
very good
I
movie.
don't remember that.
Michael Keaton, Denzel.
Michael Key. Oh no, yeah. Oh yeah. My God, I forgot that he was in the movie.
Oh my God. That's a real reaction, people.
I swear, I forgot that he was in the movie. I was like, Michael Key. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
Kenneth Branagh.
Oh my gosh. Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, he was playing the Matrix in that one.
Denzel.
Denzel Washington.
Keanu Reeves was the bad guy.
He was
right?
the bad guy. He was.
He was still. He was still doing his whoa, but he was like he was evil about it.
Face, and he had a
He was
beard.
still.
Like,
He was still evil.
He was a
about it.
bad guy?
he was,
It was
a bad
It was
guy.
Kenneth Branagh and his wife at the time. I want to say Emma Watson, but that's what's her face.
It's
Emma Thompson.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Emma
definitely
Thompson.
wasn't Emma Watson.
Emma Thompson.
She was maybe
I
0.
Kenneth Branagh is one of my favorite actors.
He
so
is.
that's,
He's one of mine as well. You never saw the movie?
I know. I Much Ado About Nothing, and then it's a William Shakespeare thing.
It's a
It
yeah.
is a
It's
Shakespeare,
all.
yeah.
It's a Shakespearean.
Kenneth Branagh is all about the
So
Shakespearean.
I got onto that one because in English class, I used to argue with this girl.
1993. Is that
Not
what you
really
said?
argue.
Mm-hmm.
Me and her would like rag back and forth on each other. She was actually very cute.
if you're listening,
Yeah, like if you're still out there.
Aaron's phone number is.
So, but my teacher, my English teacher, she used to be like, "You guys are like a Beatrice and Benedict." Never saw the movie before, right? And I was like, "I don't know why you keep calling us that. I don't know what that is." Blah blah blah. And she was like, "Go watch this movie, Much Ado About Nothing. You'll understand." I went home, watched it, and was like, "This movie is freaking amazing!"
Oh, yeah.
Like, and I don't even know what they're talking about.
No,
like, had no
one's
clue.
heard of this movie, by the way.
Is it all like Old English speak too?
It's
or
all
is it-
Shakespearean.
It's Shakespearean.
There's a word for it though. Of
Shakespearean?
his way he writes. I can't remember it. Oh my god! And then whatever.
High on cocaine?
No. But it literally is. It's one of my
It's probably
favorite
opium.
movies of all time. It literally is one of my favorite movies of all time.
I'm gonna put this on the list. I've never seen it.
Yeah, definitely watch it. The
I can
1992
say it
one.
was in it.
Yeah. Dude from
House. Robert
Yeah, I
Sean
was,
Lennon.
I was just about to say him too. Yes. But nothing. We could do no show on Much Ado About Nothing. But anyway, and the last one is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Also kept that to himself. You son of a bitch.
Not Charlie and the Chocolate
No,
Factory.
no. How dare you? How dare you? Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Yes. There was a whole bunch of other
So
ones
Willy
I
Chocolate
could have thrown on there, but those are
and the
my
Kid
5.
Factory.
If there's one thing I want to accomplish in my life, it's to be able to recite the whole boat scene.
Oh,
What's up
terrified
with you
me.
and sadness and
I know. This
scary
just curves
people?
down the worst parts of the
Did
movies.
we not watch that movie?
Who hurt you?
Children are getting abducted through the
They
entire
deserved
thing.
it.
I mean, they deserved one person deserved it. Now
The
that was
greedy little
Violet.
bastards.
They all deserved it.
The tricksters.
Augustus?
Swindlers.
Little fat bastard was just eating everybody's
He's
chocolate.
in a chocolate factory. What do you want from
Gluttonous
him?
little piece of
He
shit.
told him, "Hey, don't do that," and he goes and hands
So he
all into his
kills
mouth.
him?
He didn't.
Said,
He
"Don't-
kills himself.
Hey,
He killed himself.
He said, "Hey, I know you're in my chocolate factory, but don't touch my chocolate." Augustus.
No, it's
Save some for later.
it's a lesson on gluttony.
Oh.
The movie is literally just 7.
It's the 7.
That's basically
yeah,
what
no,
it
it's
is.
How many kids were there?
7.
6.
Don't tell me there were 7. 'Cause
No, wait.
Oh, look at that. A whole different. Yeah,
Veruca,
Violet, Augustus.
I don't know that.
Yeah, the little shit American boy.
The Mike TV,
Mike
bro.
TV, yeah.
Mike TV,
I mean, his name was literally TV.
You had
Veruca.
He already said
No, he said
Veruca was a.
there was 2 girls, right? Only 2 girls.
Oh,
Bubblegum
Veruca.
chick?
Yeah, Violet was
Violet,
the blueberry.
Veruca,
Veruca was
which was
the
the-
asshole.
So only
Yeah.
2 girls.
And then Charlie.
Mike TV, Charlie.
3 boys. 5.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
correct.
if there was 7.
There we go.
And then all
I would
the
rewatch that movie right now.
We're like, son of a mother. Really, sloth. Right there.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a fun game. Play it at home with your friends and talk for hours about what
Ah,
movie.
that
it
was-
is.
movies.
That was 5 movies, yeah.
Would you?
Clue, Coming to America, Captain America: Civil War,
Much Ado About
Much
Nothing?
Ado About Nothing, Willy Wonka.
Oh shit! See how fast that goes?
I don't know what
5
to-
is not enough.
To judge you guys for picking the MCU movies, or if I'm ashamed that I didn't.
I can pick
of-
a replacement if you don't like my
I
list.
literally have 90 movies on here, and I did not pick any MCU.
Well, I went honorable mentions on my tweet too, because one is House Party Part 1.
Oh, it's good.
Love-
Class Act, also
Love that.
good.
Yeah, Class Act was already on.
Austin
it, but
Powers. We literally talked about this right when you left.
Bad Boys Part 1
Ooh,
was on
that's-
there. We talked about that earlier before.
Yeah.
Did you pick
good.
any Spike Webb movies while you were in there too?
Serendipity was
You're
the other
ridiculous.
one.
You're ridiculous.
But I was like, Much Ado About Nothing blankets that Serendipity.
You could have said again Friday 1, 2, 3, and just been like Much Ado About Nothing. That would counter it all.
Well, see, and
Is that a racist thing, Schindler?
terrible. Moving right along, we are,
Yes.
everybody. Speaking of movies, it is a very tremendous time now because the Disney and Fox buyout is done.
Dunsies.
Yes.
They all belong to Marvel now. We got your X-Men. We got your Fantastic
Welcome
Four.
home.
We got your Deadpools.
Too soon.
Like, it's oh my God, it's so exciting
We got aliens.
to know what we are in
I can't think of
store.
any other Fox properties right now.
I don't know if they're
And sad
going
things
to,
are probably on my list.
Oh my god.
I don't know if there's any other like franchises that matter from Fox
Lord. No,
that Marvel is getting.
There's tons.
Like, what else, though?
there's-
Like, really?
I can't think of off the top of my head. You just got aliens, okay?
I mean,
I'm Googling it right now.
the biggest thing is the Fox merger. Everybody was wondering if, the biggest thing is the Marvel stuff. So now that everything is open and Endgame is, what is it? What's today? The 20, as we record today,
month
the
away.
27th or 22nd?
22nd.
So we're like a little less than a month away from the actual release of Endgame, which speculations are going crazy about what's going to happen there.
Yeah. We did that
All the
in
trailers
last
were a
episode.
lie.
All the trailers, yeah, you don't believe any of them. You do not believe any of them because Marvel likes to cut stuff out, add stuff in. Like, I say, don't believe not a now one of them.
Reshoot at the last second.
Changing it
Reshoots.
up.
Take
But
out Kevin
talking-
Spacey.
Here's the
Talking about
problem
New
that
Mutants
I
being scrapped
see.
altogether.
No, okay. Did they say anything like that?
No, there's a lot of speculation.
Because
so
I
it's
want
not
them. I
confirmed.
want
I
them to
heard
do
they
it.
cut a bunch of shit though.
I want them to do it. Scrap it. It's done. Get it. Where Marvel needs to get off that. If they really want to introduce the world to their X-Men and their Fantastic Four, no production should
Listen
be
to
going.
our show and listen to what we have
Yeah,
to say. That's what
they
we do.
listen all the time. Actually, CEOs always listen to. They actively search out the
true.
show. So
Shit, we're out of ideas.
what is it?
Go to Spotify.
Before you love.
I think they can't do anything maybe until 2021.
Good God.
Wait, it's 2 years.
For what? For
Yeah, that's
Marvel properties?
a long time.
Well, unless no, it's not like a legal thing, but I'm saying like from a creative standpoint type of thing, because they've already got movies planned already.
right.
So you got the next Spider-Man already. You got the next.
They already changed that shit in the Wikipedia too. It says owned by Disney.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Real
where?
big letters.
So-
It's all that one guy. It's that one dude who's changed like a million
Oh yeah, I saw that
edits
guy.
on.
It doesn't get paid.
He was very proud of that, and I didn't know to feel sad about that or
making the world a better place.
I was like, "Ooh, really, dude?"
One wiki edit at a time.
So anyway, I mean, that's it's huge. It's
About
freaking-
damn time.
My favorite Marvel property has always been the X-Men.
You know what they got? Big Mama's house.
Oh
20th
yeah,
Century
'cause
Fox.
that's what.
Everybody,
I can't
get
wait
ready.
for that. I can't wait for that trilogy.
Well, I mean, speaking of actual
Big Mama
movies,
is coming to the MCU.
Oh my god.
I saw a rumor online saying that the next Bad Boys movie is going straight to Netflix.
I'll be fine with that actually. Because
rumor. It's
Netflix,
straight rumor, but
Netflix is kind of they're doing.
because that's what
who
I'm
has
thinking.
who has done? It's been Fox or it's been
It's banned.
Who you mean for Bad Boys?
yeah
Oh, I have no idea.
Universal.
I'm just saying, can we get another Kung Pao into the fist? It's
It's
been
supposed
too
to be a
long.
sequel.
Preaching to
Supposed
the
to be.
goddamn choir over here.
Damn it! That should have been on the list.
I know. Chosen one.
But no. That was just a rumor that I heard. I
Damn,
don't know if
Antoine Fisher,
they're.
that's a good movie.
I don't know if they.
You want sad?
I don't know if they actually, if they belong to Fox or whatever. Bad Boys is. I don't think that is. That was just a rumor I heard online. But yeah, no. I mean, I saw a thing because like you got the Dark Phoenix coming out for the X-Men. This is why I say 2021. You have to scrub that idea from their head, from audience's mind. Like our X-Men movie that we're coming out with is not what you've seen before. This is one that is in the cinematic universe of the good franchise.
Mm-hmm.
The
Chosen one.
yes, the actual good one. So you can't really be like, well, we're coming out with X-Men in next year.
So you're not saying coming out with movies in 2021. You're saying starting
production. I mean,
Everything.
starting. Yes. Yeah.
So they're leaving it. They're finishing up everything they have right now.
Yeah.
Acquiring all that stuff, and then in 2021, saying, "All right, let's get the showboat on the road." And then 2023,
Then
God
you
damn,
gotta-
it's the future.
unless they do something drastic like this, reboot the
Because when the
universe.
crossovers and shit are
Because that's the only thing that matters.
so you're thinking now.
Crossovers
You're
are the
thinking
only
that
thing that
the
matters.
individual. Okay, so you don't want them to do an X-Men, just establish a new X-Men film.
Well, I
You
mean,
want-
we've already started. I mean, if you haven't listened already, you should go back to Recreating the Universe, before you log off and
Definitely
check
listen to
those
that
out.
episode.
But
You don't want them to establish it. You want them to establish them already inside of the world they've created already.
so here's the thing. Here's the question. How do you establish them in a world
Of
that's
Warcraft.
already been established with all these heroes and stuff like that?
How do you?
Yeah, like how would you imagine it? Without a reboot, without a hardcore, the universe gets reset, everything starts over, reboot. How do you add these superpowered beings that sat back and did nothing while the world was being attacked by countless other things? Because it's the question that they had with Captain Marvel. Have you seen Captain Marvel yet?
Nope.
Okay. So I won't. They explain why.
You can. I'm not.
Well, they explain why. I'm not. I mean, if people.
I
wanna-
don't hate spoilers. It's
Well,
fine.
no, for the listeners.
The listeners,
We have
yeah,
a
if they
spoil. We
haven't-
have a full spoiler episode. If they
They can.
you know,
They can earmuffs.
terrible. So they explain why she isn't
Right,
in
right.
all the other movies. So
And why she's
now,
missing and blah blah blah.
now we have a group of superpowered beings. Not just a group, an entire planet of superpowered human beings that nobody like. Again, Joe Schmo was sitting at the coffee shop when New York was attacked.
Joe's apartment?
I'm a Jane
Plain Jane. Is that the female one?
a
Is that what
super
there you
mutant
go.
or something.
I'm
Joe
fine.
Schmo Plain Jane.
Terrible.
Yeah.
I was super mutant. Why
did
didn't
it.
I pop up and jump out and help out the Avengers at this time? You know, I'm Colossus. I could turn into metal. Why didn't I do anything? So, how do you
Because of
bring
the racism.
terrible?
man.
How do you bring all that in? You know, and how were they not on anybody's radar as well? Like the Justice League, as bad as that movie is, you still had Lex Luthor who knew about the Flash, knew about Aquaman, knew about Wonder Woman.
Which I think was so. Had their symbols and everything.
Exactly. It's already it's like I'm going to make these for you. So how do you explain that in the Marvel universe
And
without
that-
a hardcore reboot?
I think that's a very good question, but the only answer would be like, what would be the end game be? That would you'd have to kind of backtrack. So, honestly, I think that with looking at
No. Finish your thought.
looking at how they created the Avengers, I think they had to have gone from the end to the beginning to make it tie in so well. So whereas just saying like, okay, here you go, here's the X-Men, and this is why they were made all by themselves, and we'll just fill the gaps as we go. I guess the best way would to be do it is it's all post. It's all they're all young, and here's the year's 2050, and now that's all decided, and that's why they weren't involved in all this current stuff.
Oh, go ahead.
What I would do, and to put them into this universe that's already established, is I would just go straight off of the events that happen in Endgame. Is you take the characters that are in this universe, and because of their actions, they come back to basically the same universe, but it's a different reality.
So you are rebooting
So
the
no. I'm taking because those characters are going to be aware of how it was. You put them back into their world, but it's changed like a butterfly effect.
So you're Rick and Mortying them.
Something that
They went back to a universe that's close to what they
it's
are.
their
It's like
same
only-
universe.
You're pulling a Cinderella 3 over here, is what you're
It's
doing.
just-
I don't even know what
I've
the hell
never-
that
I don't get that
understand that
reference.
reference. What is that?
They do the whole.
There was a 2?
Change the timeline and stuff, and there was a 2 and there was a 3.
Lord.
They go back in time, and she never got
No, you just
married to the
take
prince.
them
too
who are already
convoluted.
aware of their everything that all the events that took place,
But
and then you just put them in a basically a world that's different than what they're used to. But it's the
you're doing-
same universe.
you're doing it
It's just you're
different
adding
Earths
into it.
and stuff.
No. Same Earth. It's just a cause and effect type thing. If you go back in time, you step on a butterfly.
Oh, so you want butterfly
things-
effect?
Butterfly
now.
effect.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they go back in
events
time and
change.
do something.
They go in back
that
in time.
causes
that causes the mutant genes
mutant
to
gene
pop
to
up.
activate
Pulling Flash.
everyone. Yes.
I guess, yeah.
Yes.
In a way. That's how it's the easiest way to put it all together.
It's kind of the twin cop out. Oh, I thought you died. I'm a twin.
Here, I saw one online that I kind of like. It was a thing where you just blame it on Professor X. Professor X made the world forget mutants exist. You could do it as
That's
the ultimate cheating.
kind of cop out
okay.
too.
I understand,
that
but
shit where
but
you
this is how
erase everything with
is how you do it though. This is how you do it. If you made a prequel movie about the X-Men, and this is Professor X discovering that he's not alone. There's hundreds of thousands of mutants around the world, and they're all they all have superpowers and stuff like that, right? Then you have some movie where some major event happens and a lot of bad things happen because mutants are around and because the world is aware of mutants. And the only logical thing he can think of is they have to not exist. We have to make sure everybody doesn't know about them. So he uses Cerebral, the new technology that he creates, wipes everybody's mind. The events that happen now with all these things and everything that's going on, you can explain that, yeah, they were mutants the whole time. The discovery of the twins and their superpowers. They just called them specials. And
they
got
didn't label them.
Yeah, but they didn't have a label, so they didn't know anything about that. So bam, they're mutants. Now we know.
That would be good, but how do you explain the mutants that they just don't use their powers now?
No. They always do, but you've always got that.
You've been MIB'd.
Yeah, like you've got that thing where it's just he has to cover the tracks.
So who's policing these? The X-Men are the ones that are policing these people?
You could say the X-Men have been going around.
For all the X-Men in the whole world.
Well, mutants, first of all. The whole world is X-Men.
All mutants in the whole world. Excuse me.
Let's calm down here.
Now you're having
But who says there wasn't
the team of X-Men
who says there
to
wasn't
police them?
Random occurrences of specials being out there, and that just happened. They just could be isolated events.
It's only in America.
Well, because in the MCU, when something goes down, Shield knows. You know what I mean? Like,
who says they didn't?
They have a full task force.
And remember,
we're
now
talking
here's
about
the thing.
mind erasing here. So.
And then mind
no,
you,
but I'm saying, like, you know how big Shield is.
okay, so here's the other thing. Remember in
Shield's
Iron Man?
huge.
Remember in Iron Man when
X-Men's like 5 people.
Remember in Iron Man when Nick Fury went to Tony Stark and he had the map and it showed all those dots everywhere of special things, and everybody's like, "Oh, there's Wakanda right there in Africa and stuff like that." Who says they didn't know about these things already? They could have known all these things. They don't have to tell everybody about this stuff because maybe they know. Nick Fury, Professor X could have been like, whatever event happened that was so bad because the world knew about mutants that, yeah, I'm in with you. We got to cover this up. Nobody can know about these things. Why not?
I don't see that.
Men in Black 2, right?
I'm unfortunately leaning towards this.
Men in Black 2. When the world was really exposed to a whole bunch of aliens, they flash. They like this too. Not everybody can get that. What's the line? A person is smart. People are panicky. Psychopaths.
Dangerous.
Yeah. We got to keep this under wraps. If the whole world knew that there was so many out there, if you knew, I just saw a guy tweet today, and it's Comics Explained. Saw him tweet today saying if he had superpowers, he would be a villain. Literally, he's like, I know what I would do.
Majority of the damn world.
Okay, so if the majority of the world knew that they had the possibility of having superpowers, it would probably be a bad thing. It wouldn't be a good thing. Like everybody thinks, like, oh, I could be a suit. No, it would probably be a bad thing because you would give in to those bad negative impulses until something bad happened, and you would react.
So
to
then,
it.
how do you erase?
Cerebro and the mind of Charles Xavier.
These world events that affect, like, because you have somebody like that can split the fucking planet in half with earthquake powers or something, and then how do you rope that in? How do you cover something like that up?
Go ahead.
I think he said it 3 times. Yeah. Cerebro.
Yeah,
so it's just like, okay, everybody doesn't know this event happened, but there's a fucking crater in New York now.
Again,
there was a crater when Thor's thing dropped down in the middle of.
If you're trying to merge, the X-Men and the Avengers, for example, then we're talking about a planet that's been invaded, that has been aware that the planet's been invaded. Yes. And now we're trying to create these students who have these powers and blah blah blah. Like, that's the worst thing. Like, oh my God, there's these kids over here that that have superpowers and stuff. Like aliens just totally broke into our
And if you
into
look-
New
And
And
York.
they didn't wipe anybody's mind after that.
But if you look how many people they don't even call to it. I see this every time they do a Marvel Netflix show. I'm like, how isn't the world fundamentally changed knowing that aliens exist, one, and two, they attacked us. They literally caused like another Pearl Harbor right on our own soil in the middle of New York, to where we almost nuked an entire city just to get rid of them. Just to get rid of them. Not one or two aliens came through and said, "Hey, everybody," and then started killing people. No, a giant serpent swam from the sky and attacked. But then when you watch Luke Cage, he's fighting drug dealers. Like, that didn't fundamentally change how you guys...
What do you think the war on drugs is going to stop, Evan?
I mean, if anything, it would have doubled. That'd be more drugs.
I think, but I'm like...
And somebody's got to stop it.
That's
Hence
always
the Luke Cage.
That's always irritating. We're in the same universe. Nobody recognizes it as like... It's like... And maybe it's a New York mentality. It's like, we
Ignorance
get
is
fast.
bliss.
To be honest, I like this ties into our other episodes of where we've gone with the X-Men. We're establishing in the past the First Class.
Yes.
And then we can kind of lead it in with the new...
It bleeds in perfectly, because we
perfectly.
can go into a high note where it's like just major disastrous thing, and then at the end we have that caveat of Professor X sees the damage that's been done and knows that these people, the world's not ready for mutants.
No, I feel like you just make, because once everybody finds out that he's doing this, you just put a fucking bullet in his head.
This is how whew, so perfect. This is how you spin it back. Once they find out what they've lost, like what this person has done, it's the Illuminati situation. There was the group of people.
No, because he's by himself.
I understand. So why would somebody? So the world will be pissed off at that person. You took it into your hands and thought to make this decision that was best for the world without consulting anybody else.
So I would accept it if the Illuminati are behind the whole cover up.
Well, you just lead it into that type of thing.
If they just went in and said, okay, fucking Fantastic Four hid themselves.
Is that what we're talking about?
No, the Illuminati in comic books.
Yes.
Okay.
Black Panther. Black Panther was part of it, right?
I was about to.
Black Panther was part of it.
Eventually, he does become part of it. Yes, but
put him part of it, or his dad at least. You can write it off.
you can write it as his father was. Yeah. We've gone on a long tangent for it.
So, what day is it?
Because I don't know. For me, it's just hard to grasp that
Professor X wiped the mind of everybody.
And then just like,
as bad as the movie was, Part 1, X-Men, you saw him stop an entire mall from moving.
but you just
Just by
I feel like
sniffing.
he would have to be awake,
But didn't he transplant
like
his whole
no
body,
sleep
his whole mind?
ever because of the amount of mutants in the world.
So this person can
doing stuff, you have to erase every individual thing.
No.
If somebody with telekinesis is just like in the middle of a story, like, oh, bring that to me. You have to fucking erase that now.
No.
Little things you have to keep erasing.
I think
That's exhaustion to the maximum level.
I think you're thinking of the upkeep.
Upkeep is just ridiculous.
Right, and I think he's thinking of just a bland. Okay, take it all out. Let's start fresh.
Yeah, we start
Let's
fresh
move from here.
If you see little uprisings, they'll literally ping up on Cerebro because that's how he finds everybody. That's how he finds whenever mutants are activated.
He would literally be in a chair all day.
Have you never read
every
it?
hour?
Isn't he always in a chair?
Touche. That's hilarious. That's fucked up. That's hilarious.
He would be sitting all the time, Steven. This is bullshit. No one can do
No,
that.
but he's just hooked up. He's a vegetable.
Have you never read any of the comics?
No, I've never. I've told
He's
you,
always linked into that damn
No,
thing.
but I'm saying every hour of the day, no sleep, not eating, because you have to fucking change some little shitty ass person who stole a soda
You have to
using
go,
fire powers.
You have to go and assess the situation and see what threat level of.
And then on top of that, he has to come up with an excuse how this building burned.
No, you don't.
He has
Professor X. He just like
look at it.
You just missed
Look
that.
at it like this. Let's just say, for example, it was the upkeep. I have to sit in a chair for X amount of hours of a day just to not in the chair.
You're paralyzed.
Uh,
no, you're paralyzed.
No,
That's it.
he's got to actually be access to Cerebro to be able to.
He's got to be fucking Matrix plugged in.
All right, to look at these events. Blah 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 blah. What does he do? He either sends the X-Men out to acquire this person, to nullify it, bring them aboard, cut it out, blah, put the fear of God on them or whatever.
Okay.
Or he has to erase their mind to where they
forget they even have powers.
Correct.
They've done that. Cyclops has psychic blocks in his head to damper his powers. They've done that in the comic books too. He can.
Didn't they do that with Phoenix?
Did that with Phoenix as well. They've done a lot of different.
So
that's the whole storyline.
The world has about 7 billion people in the world.
You know how many mutants there are?
How many mutants are in the world?
Didn't he find them all? Didn't he find them all?
How many mutants are in the world?
There's
Like a rough estimate. Would you say like maybe like
less
a
than
billion?
No. There's less than a million.
There's less than a million.
Yeah. There's not that many. And
Okay, then in my mind, I'm thinking
Yeah,
it's
no.
It's like out of everybody, there's.
But you're thinking in an afternoon, he just goes.
Okay,
I'm imagining
for the audio listeners,
he's just putting his fingers in his head.
I don't know if you can see me, but I went like this.
I don't know if you mentally felt that.
I went like this.
Fucking psychic.
Let's see. They're not gonna hear any of that.
We're not visual yet.
Well, we're getting there, but look with your mind. But yeah, it's the thing of it. He's either putting blocks on them, he's erasing their mind.
Yeah, but
he's sending the X-Men to like if this, you said someone, oh, what if he's blowing half the Earth up? Blah blah blah. I'm pretty sure there's 37 different things he could do to. That was being generous.
Yes.
37.
But I mean,
to nullify that one. Unless there's a million people on the planet all at one time blowing up their city at the same time.
He doesn't. Okay, so he doesn't know people's actions 24 hours out of the day. Correct?
He can see when their abilities are activated.
As long as he's in Cerebro.
No, Cerebro can work without it. It can give him Cerebro enhances his powers. He can the machine.
I thought he had to have the helmet.
No,
and
the
shit
machine
on
can
first.
function.
The machine enhances it. That's all.
Yeah, it enhances it, and so he can
the range and
he can. Yeah. It'd be like,
So he can
popped up
he
over
can
here.
telepathically connect to the machine.
No. He still has to put the chrome down on.
He has to put the machine on, and that amplifies his power for distance range and.
Okay, so when he doesn't have the helmet on, he can tell when Joe fucking goes and sets a building up while Daphne's
but
over here drowning people with her water
Let's
powers.
Superman flies around the entire planet.
over
blah,
here,
blah, blah.
He can do that, yes.
Shocking people.
So, did you watch the show as a kid?
Here, like
It's like so there were
not. I haven't seen.
There were
everything.
mutants in the world, and you just think all of them all at one time are blowing something up with their mind at the
The
same time.
odds. So you're telling me only one person's committing crimes at one time?
Think about it. You have
All the crime in the
there's
world.
only so
in
many
one
episodes you
fucking
can have a
person?
week, Steven. So yes, there's only so many crimes.
You get the fuck out of here. It's ridiculous.
Think about it. Okay, let's just say
Ridiculous.
there's a million mutants on the planet. Some of them can, tie their shoes without looking.
And
Some of them
one
can-
person is committing a crime.
Correct. And how hard? But no. I'm sorry. Not one per. If you have X amount of people committing a crime, but they're born human, they act human. Not all of them are just like, I have the power to do this, and they blow up, New York City and like with a blink. There's not that kind of stuff happening. So those things can be controlled by. Like, I can walk through walls. I'm going to rob a bank. Obviously, there's channels going through that, blah, 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 blah. If he finds onto that, he can erase the police, everyone who saw the video, blah, blah, blah,
So
blah.
he's got to investigate everybody that was part of that
got a
crime.
team.
All he
He's
has
got
to
to do all this other
all
shit.
he has to do is
The
wait
upkeep
for
is
it.
ridiculous.
All he has to do is wait for it to happen and go global to be like,
You think cops are?
No, on top of that, like the mutants that are physically different, you have to mentally.
didn't
put in
Nightcrawler do
people's-
fine? I mean, he was in the
mentally put
circus,
in
right?
people's
Yeah,
brain.
very true.
Fucking, you're okay. One person who found a job in a
Okay,
circus.
but now time
no,
out.
So now
Where,
Steven's
answer this question.
very
Steven.
riled up by this.
Well,
because
answer
he
this
gets coming
question.
at me on fire. All right? I'm ready to fight.
Answer this question. Where do the most ugly mutants go?
The circus.
Where do the
most
Jersey.
ugly mutants go?
some of them, a portion of them are in the sewers.
Yeah, because they're ugly, and that's where they belong.
But okay, so you're telling me Professor X is like, you guys are still ugly. We're putting you in
No.
here.
All their
No.
But I have the mental capacity to change
They
everybody's
exile
minds about it.
themselves.
So there's one portion, the ugly ones, unportioned, that go underground, right? Do you think any other mutant that looks remotely out of place would want to be seen in broad daylight?
If somebody has the goddamn power,
Answer the
to-
question,
No, answer
Steven.
the-
no, I am. If somebody has the power to actually change what I perceive of you because he's a goddamn super telepathic, whatever the fuck.
No, I'm talking about the ones that go under the radar. Professor X didn't even. He was asleep. Cerebro was off, and there's still Goat Man. He doesn't have any powers besides looking like a goat.
Okay.
He can't make it to the Morlock City underground. Do you think he's going to be roaming around the city like, hey, everybody? Oh, I just happen to look like a goat.
So I'm just waiting for Cerebro to kick in.
If somebody has the gut mental ability to change people's mind to forget there's fucking mutants.
No, I said take him out the equation.
You
though.
think
No, then why would I if that exists?
Because he doesn't know about him, right?
Order.
Goatman doesn't know about
again,
him.
you're thinking that Xavier just wakes up in the morning and goes into Cerebro and speaks to every being on the planet and says,
Okay.
Who's out there?
But see, he has to in this situation.
Nah,
Because
again,
you're talking about
you're
wiping
going-
and changing people's minds
You're going back
all
to the
time.
upkeep. You're going back to the upkeep. You're thinking that every second of every day he's erasing people's minds and whatever. What we're talking about is that a person blew up this mountain with his mind. 12 people died. They find the person, they handcuff him. He either sends the X-Men to acquire him, blah, 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 and he erases everyone's mind. That's his upkeep for that situation. He's not sitting there. He's just like, oh, this happened on the news. That's his upkeep.
Investigate.
He's not sitting there 24 hours every single day and blocking everything out as it happens. He's doing what he said with the police. He's responding to an incident. He's not sitting there trying to prevent everything because that's impossible.
There would be no way that people wouldn't know about mutants. There would be no way. There would literally be no way.
If people found out about mutants, what would he do? Erase their minds. That's his upkeep. He'd have to do it every often.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be every 2 seconds he's erasing someone's mind.
But you got to still have to think. There's plenty of ways you can.
There's somebody.
Hold on. There's
People
plenty
die
of
every
ways.
8 seconds.
Hold on, though.
You're trying to turn him into God right now.
Yeah. There's.
You guys are literally turning him into God, giving him that power.
Hold on.
I'm saying he doesn't have it.
Steven, hold on. There's plenty of ways you can smooth that out. One, in the movies, you don't have to have a population of 300,000 mutants. You could say there's 100 mutants on the planet, and that's even smaller upkeep. Two, they don't have to be super godlike power mutants. They could just be.
Yeah, you think there's a.
I can
you're
just,
acting like
I can
of
shoot.
the million.
They could be Squirtle.
100,000
Like I can shoot
are
water out of my
mega
hands.
Okay, so you had mentioned that you're putting them in the entire universe in the world. You can't just.
You can't
put mutants. I mean, I guess you could.
because look what they've done already. Scarlet Witch, highly depowered in the MCU. She's not as powerful as she is in the comic books. Thanos is the same thing. It's definitely not the same amount of power. So they've already altered the way powers work just to be like normal, so people can understand them in the movie.
Of all the X-Men movies and all the old shows and stuff like that, like I don't know why all of a sudden in this universe, all of a sudden every mutant just acts like they can go wild in your interpretation of it.
Because we literally just had a conversation where somebody was like, "If I had powers,
but
I would be a fucking villain."
You're thinking that,
and now you're giving these people. You're just metaphorically giving these people, like, if you just said 1 million, you just gave 1 million people powers. You're telling me that one person at one given time is committing a crime because they have new powers.
Of the million, some of them are old people, some of them are young people.
Yeah.
Some of them can walk through walls. Some of them can blow things up with their mind.
Okay.
So of that percentage of people, some of them keep laying low. Some are underground. Some of them go to crime. Some of them is petty crime. Some of them murder and stuff like that. And you're acting as if he's has to cover up every single person.
One. He doesn't have to.
Just the egregious ones.
Yeah.
So then people would know about mutants.
Okay.
Steven, you know about mutants. Now you don't. I'm good.
Even without that. Hold on. Even without that.
I don't know if you guys saw. I did the same thing I did earlier. But
even if you say, okay, something happened. Adam has mutant powers. We saw it happen. Professor X missed us somehow. Who are we going to go tell?
The Ghostbusters. I don't know.
Okay.
Right.
So here's that.
You go online.
Yeah. You go online. You can be like, okay, somebody believes
on
them online.
Now 1 billion people know about it.
Yeah.
One of those people is Coulson.
Okay,
so now you got S.H.I.E.L.D. covering up the damn stuff. Because
Why would they cover it up? I feel like they would attack now.
All right, we need to move on.
Welcome to the
A
show.
kilogram of feathers.
We are going around circles. We're off
tangents.
that. We are off that. The last major story.
I don't know. I think you put too much.
The last major story. I'm looking at the wavelengths on the recording.
Oh yeah.
And they're just
they're
everywhere. I'm gonna have to normalize the crap out of this. The last story that we got, and I can't believe it's 3 stories today, and we're at it like almost
2 hours.
An hour. Yeah. Google getting into the gaming world, everybody, finally. They wanted to take their billions.
I don't even care about this story anymore. I'm still like,
He said, "I'm waiting for my second to
I'm
shine
ready to
again."
fight you guys.
That's terrible. But no,
With my mental powers.
this is actually...
Stadia?
I mean,
Stadia?
Xavier would just come and erase you.
Said, Xavier, I know you exist. Who are you? It's nice to meet you.
So anyway, they have
As he's
a...
malnourished and chained to fucking Cerebro because it's the only way his powers are working.
Google has a whole thing called Google Stadia. It's supposed to be this new way to play games, basically.
Video gaming streaming service.
So here's the thing, because I didn't see anything about an actual box on it or an actual hardware besides the controller. But it just looks like Netflix for video games, right?
Genius.
And it's been, I mean, they've made the assumption or that analogy before online. I've seen it somewhere. Here's a couple of things. There's a lot of features, and we'll get into a lot of the features. The core thing, it seems like it is based on internet speed.
Correct.
So
Isn't everything now nowadays? For the most part?
yes and no.
I think your car runs on
with
internet
PC,
speed right
it
now.
comes to the specs of your rig, right? This is just all internet.
This-
do you have
yeah.
a phone? Do you have a
You-
TV? And do you have do you have a
Exactly.
monitor? And do you have
It's
sweet ass internet?
It's literally that toaster thing. Like, oh, you could play it on a toaster type of thing. You could play everything as long as it has an internet connection.
Because I would guess that the like if you're watching an HD video, to download that is like, I don't know, 1.5 gigs. And I would assume that this would be much greater.
I thought and I didn't get to look because as soon as we started the show, I thought I saw an article saying, or I thought you were looking at an article saying how fast your internet should be to run.
I pulled it up, yeah.
Well, do you remember what that was?
What it said it needs to be? No, it said in order to play it, you would have to have, like, again, the phone doesn't matter, the monitor doesn't matter, everything can suck, but you would not have a good experience if you didn't have sufficient data speed. And again, I could not tell you what that was.
So here's the thing. Right off the bat, I like the idea. I really like the idea of people can play anywhere on anything at about any time. I guess that's where my thought process was going with that. But I don't think it's as accessible to the majority of people as we think. Because, one, we live in California.
Mm-hmm.
We live in a bubble where the rest of the country doesn't matter. We're diverse. Sacramento has diversity. We have every
We're number 6 now. We're losing.
Yeah, well, I mean, but we're still up there in the top 10.
It's quick, minorities, make babies.
Let's go to Midwest. Let's go to Midwest. Let's go middle of the country.
What part?
I don't know.
I was just testing to see if you knew anything.
Colorado.
about
I'm a
Midwest.
kid in Colorado. I want to play the games. Do I have the same high speed internet
I don't think it's
connection
Midwest.
as other people? Are you reaching out there to me? Now I understand. Oh, that's it.
That's
That's it for the
Bixby.
show, everybody. Thank you. No.
Bixby.
So, so that's not a big deal, though. That's not a huge big deal.
It says for 1080p, 25 megabits per second is
Yeah, it's pretty low, right?
Standard.
To 25
25
to run this
At
program.
1080.
to be
at
run at
1080p.
1080.
Okay.
That's pretty. I mean, Comcast is giving me 250, and it's average. I want to say average is above 100. So
Okay, so I just Googled the average internet connection speed in the household, and it says 18.75
Ooh.
Okay,
megabytes.
so
you're not hitting that 25.
we're taking the
mark.
bum,
we're all playing at 720
the BFE.
is what we're doing, right? We're all playing at
We're just
720,
dealing.
Yeah,
and we're dealing with it. Yes,
that's average.
if it does not affect how the game is playing and just the visuals, like I get it in lower visuals, I'm fine. Because gameplay should always
We all
matter.
played Perfect Dark, man. We dealt with it.
Exactly. Gameplay should be over graphics, in my opinion. So, but you got to try it.
Agree, but it's just funny because a lot of the games are just like half of the entire experience is the visuals,
And that's what they came out swinging with was like Assassin's Creed, which is
Yeah.
just a visual,
You're
pretty game. I
with
guess.
those internet speeds. You're just Nintendo Switch games.
Okay, so here's the other thing, though. Now
Well, actually, Nintendo Switch is pretty good.
All I'm saying
So
is
probably
she
like,
better have a good personality.
Wii-
That's all.
that's
The
terrible.
Wii graphics.
So you can play with
That Breath of the Wild.
you can play with any controller.
Hey.
So like if you have a PlayStation controller, if you have an Xbox
I like that
controller,
because you can go with whatever your preference is.
play whatever you want.
No, this is this is for online play. This is for, like if I want to play Skyrim,
think this is
I'm
just-
still streaming it, or what's the dealio?
You're streaming everything.
Got it.
There are no discs. There are no downloads. This is
Just
all
straight up
Got it.
stream.
Got it.
So, other cool features about the thing, they have like a thing where you can upload directly to YouTube if you want to, but we've got kind of features like that already with the Xbox One and PS4. They have another feature where if you're stuck on something, you can actually look up a video on that area,
Oh, that's what you're saying.
like just
Got it.
So you
live
can
type of
cheat.
thing. Yeah, I mean,
Well,
it adds.
We've all been there, Steve.
Yeah, everybody does. It's just,
Yeah,
it's
and
just
then I
making,
turned 7.
it's just making metas more,
And then the internet was
more.
Yeah.
I guess, like universal. Like everybody is doing the meta of whatever it is now,
right.
because they're all going to be going to that same video of whatever. And I've already said my piece a long time ago about how I don't like metas in video games, because it kind of like it just takes creativity.
But
out of the
if
whole
Xavier
thing.
wasn't hooked up to
God
Cerebro,
damn you! I was literally about to do that, and you stole my bit, Adam. You stole it, and I can't forgive you. You piece of shit. I love you.
So
God damn it! High five, because I was gonna go there.
was-
I was literally gonna
it
go
was
there.
the best timing.
God damn it! I was trying to think of a way to rope it in, and you stole it
But
from
what
under
about
me.
male models?
So they other features they're talking about they might bring back the love of couch co-op, because
That's exciting,
Missing out.
you can have split screen,
but it also depends on the developers making games.
and it also depends on your internet speed again.
Also that.
Because you're going to be playing, and if I'm streaming a game on the same screen that you're streaming a game, and they were talking about like you guys could literally be in two different parts of the game, but you're on the same TV streaming, this game. So they showed, and they didn't show just like 4-player split screen. They showed like 6 boxes up top and one person on the
I
bottom.
don't know if it was just that demo, but it was,
was
like
that demo,
one
yes.
giant screen, and then like everybody else had like 4 little
Yes.
ones. And I was like, is that
That's devastating.
couch co-op or is that just online co-op?
I better have.
But you can
tickets.
see them playing the game.
It's a
on their screen
I don't
in
know.
a small box.
That was a little weird. That was definitely a little weird. But I could see how creators could be kind of creative.
What is the greater good, do you think, of this whole process?
cross-platform?
Correct.
Right in the beginning, they were putting that up forefront. Play with who you want. If you want to play with the Nintendo, Xbox, or Sony,
That's the future of where the gaming industry should be going.
So
Yes.
but there wouldn't be any consoles.
okay, there
So,
would just be games.
right. So they like if Xbox creates a game, it'd be more that Microsoft is creating a game for
I see them.
Google, and then
Well, Microsoft's doing that streaming service thing where Play Anywhere.
Yes,
I can just see that
'cause
evolving
they're
to
hook-
this.
yeah, they're hooking up to
It's
to
kind of
Nintendo
it's
and everything.
pretty similar.
this is where I can see. This is where I actually do want to see.
Consoles are dead, and
I want to see consoles die, and I want to see these companies, Microsoft, Sony, well, Nintendo, kind of already is there, but transform themselves into software developers.
Got it.
Like just straight up video games. Microsoft Studios is now the entire company. They make peripherals, so controllers if they want to, because I like the feel of an Xbox controller over a PlayStation controller. So I want that same design. So they can give me that, and then they can focus on making good games that they can throw up on this service. I can play with you. You're using your Xbox, your PlayStation controller because you like the way that feels or whatever, and we're playing together. Like there's no walls. I don't have to worry about the discussion that we have all the time of, oh, this new game's coming out. What are we all getting it on? So we can play together, as opposed to just, hey guys, there's a new game coming out. Other things that are pretty cool about it they showed were, you're watching a YouTube video, and it's of a new game. It's a commercial. They'll have a thing next to it that says "Play Now." You can just click that, and then boom, you're playing. Like you see it, you play it, type of deal. That's where they're shooting for. The controller that comes with it is going to have Wi-Fi capabilities instead of hooking up.
It's a little weird.
And I'm like, is that going to take a hit?
I feel like
my,
there's going to be some latency there.
Is that going to take a hit to my graphics too? Like,
If you're using your internet connection,
exactly
every little piece of thing that's connected through Wi-Fi takes a chunk.
And that's what. And so I'm like, I really love the idea. I love the.
So we're all upgrading our Wi-Fi, but we're saving money on the consoles and the.
Well, see, they talk about a thing where they're doing the Google Fiber to certain.
Yeah, they are.
Outputs, or I don't know. I was way above my head with the technology, but some way where they're making it to where you're closer to the. Like your ping is down. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like the closer you are to
Your latency.
Yeah, your latency, just because of the things that they're putting in place around the world.
I feel like the world's not ready technologically yet,
U.S. isn't.
because
Yeah, Japan is there.
that's fair.
Japan has Gundams.
because-
okay, let's start there.
Because if we're all getting 18.75,
Well,
On average,
on
yeah.
average,
that's because there's a monopoly on all these companies.
yeah, there's like it's
They don't do that.
it's a
shit
great
in
idea,
Europe
but I
and
don't
Japan.
see it. I don't see it being super successful now.
Well, yeah, especially if net neutrality and all that bullshit. But
Exactly.
the bigger issue is that we have a couple companies fighting. It's like, yeah, I'll give you this much internet where you're at, and you have Europe that's like, yeah, fuck it, everyone gets it. Everyone's at 5 terabyte download speed, and it's oh shit, okay.
Well, it
Until
says-
Google says our satellites are in the air, everybody's got Wi-Fi for free.
It says that they're the lowest that Stadia will go is 720. Like it won't go
Oh.
below there. So
So-
you're not gonna get anything.
So if I'm getting 4 megs,
Yeah,
I'm playing Pong, or what's up?
I guess. I'm not sure. I'm like, how does lag work now?
The
with
people that live
Call
in the
of Duty?
fucking hills and that are used like that
Yeah,
specialty
delayed,
internet,
man. Oh,
you're
God.
just effed.
I'm just gonna be a
in the
tank
A.
and just stand there and hope that the people who are healing me have good.
You're just sitting there fucking
Oh, yeah.
stuttering in and out.
So I like the heart.
Rubber banding.
I like the hearts that's behind it. They really want to make this thing kind of like
It's a
connect
good idea.
everything.
I just
What-
don't know if we're ready.
What
here.
this reminds me
You
of,
gotta try.
I don't know if you guys know that there was a Kickstarter for there was a phone that it's just a brick that different parts are made by different companies.
Oh yeah, it's module or whatever.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what the name was, but it's all modular. So like, let's say I love Apple's camera. So I get Apple's camera and boom, I click it into my phone. I
Yeah.
love Samsung has this much memory for this price. I'm gonna get Samsung's, and the phone can be made up of all these parts. Now your camera goes bad, boop, take the module out, replace it with another, blah blah blah. You're upgrading the modules themselves,
It becomes a mini PCs.
and
way.
essentially,
Mac is doing that too. You know that, right? Their
Yeah.
next computer, they're doing that stackable.
right,
So,
and
yeah.
and that would have been a genius idea. That's where phones should have gone instead of my phone's screwed, time to throw it away and
That's a
go
lot of
go
e-waste.
buy a new one. Well,
That is a lot of
It's a
e-waste.
bunch of e-waste.
okay, let's. If you already knew how much e-waste,
I
it was.
know how much e-waste is because, yeah, I know.
Just for cell phones.
Not for every damn.
I'm
thing.
just talking about cell phones.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Well, stop changing your phones, everybody. 2 years, a year going strong here. 1 year, 1 year.
text me every 3 weeks. When can I get a new damn phone?
New upgrade.
But yeah, that idea just made so much sense, and it's like, why do I have to get a new phone every damn time? Why can't I just, you know what? This new camera came out. It's dope. Let me get this new camera. Like my memory got full. Let me replace it out with a new memory module. The processor is getting old. Quad core. I want to get an 8-core. Blah blah blah.
Essentially, you turned it into a PC.
Essentially, yes, and
Yeah.
that's what the hell did we do? That's what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's call
100%
let's call it
PC.
what it is. And that sounds like what this kind of is. It's like, okay, let's have them back off the hardware, just go to the software, send us what they can. It's only be internet, be the monitor, and then boom, whatever
Well,
stream.
I think what everybody is fearing, or what everybody feared, I should say, was going straight digital. And Google looks like they're, of course, just pushing straight into it. But I don't think they're alone, because I could have swore I just saw an article where Microsoft is making an Xbox S that's discless. And they're going to start
Watch your
selling
mouth.
that. Terrible.
He said
So-
diskless. I heard dickless.
So, well, I mean, Freudian hearing is what I'm
yeah,
hearing over there. So,
it is.
if they come
I
out
told
with
you, I
that,
heard.
if they come out with
I mean,
an Xbox that doesn't need any actual,
Xbox
Blu-rays,
games.
then I think they're expecting people to move towards. They must see a trend of like people are moving towards that route. Like
So this is the last console for
like,
Microsoft.
I don't know. I don't know if it is. I haven't purchased an actual, any actual physical copies of games in a while. I've downloaded all my stuff. And like
Because we all have Steam. That's why.
that's Steam, but even on my Xbox, even on my PlayStation,
We all have Steam,
terrible.
Aaron.
Well, I mean, when Steam is
You just said you had like 10 games on Steam.
I
last
do.
year. So stop trying to rep Steam like
But
you're
I steal
Steam
Lisa's,
Jesus.
so it's fine.
Steam Jesus, that's terrible.
That's his rap name. That's his rap.
And I'm taking that.
He said, in my gamer tag now, Steam Jesus. So, so I mean, if they if they see that trend going towards there, Microsoft sees that trend going there, Nintendo, they're reverting back to freaking cartridges and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
they
they
really don't give a damn about anything. All the waiting on the Sony.
You know what they do care about though is the more interactive stuff, because like the Switch Joy-Cons have all
Right.
this technology in that.
Yeah,
So you're taking, in a way, I feel like they would have to shift focus and only work on that stuff. But like those controllers and stuff have special sensors for the Switch monitor, right?
like
how does that-
specifically for the
like-
monitor.
Like how does it work? Like
I
how,
thought they had IR sensors in them.
Yeah.
Right? Like TV remote sensors in the.
Right.
okay, so
just for anything,
that's
yeah.
how it works. So because I want to make sure that they're like, you know, you have to obviously purchase the TV or monitor, and then your hardware like controllers and stuff. Is it going to take anything away like VR or something? You know what I mean? Like how is that? How are they going to integrate that type of stuff? Because it is a trend. People
that's
are
all
using
just
it.
owning the hardware to do the equipment. That's Duck Hunt. Make sure you have.
But now you have to have the stuff that's compatible using it now. 'Cause
Right.
Before you
Well,
can
you just make it universal.
your PlayStation what the hell? I almost called it Morbius or
the
whatever.
Move.
The Move stuff.
Yeah.
Or the VR. Like with something like this, how are you gonna be able to use something like that? You know what I mean?
Oh, you won't. Your Kinect is done. Your Move is done.
Yeah,
like,
all
for this
that-
type of stuff.
that's
Yeah,
all-
But like VR going forward, like you have to design that.
There would
in
either be a
your
generic,
TV now.
not even a generic one. Sony would make their own. Microsoft would have their own, and they would still.
for their games and
For
stuff
their
like
games.
that. Okay, so that's why I said I want to see them transfer into software, and they just make peripherals. They make controllers. They make.
Yeah,
They
you-
whatever
become
you
just
need
the
for them.
Mad Cats besides game
It's
development.
I still-
how much I couldn't even go. What they're spending on designing the console, on
Exactly.
all that stuff. They're saving all that shit. All they have to do is say, let's make a controller.
It's literally
Well, let's
all
make
profit. I feel because I hear. I mean, not here. I know in the past few console life cycles, they don't make money right off the bat. They're spending
No,
a
they're
lot
always
of yeah.
in the
They're always
negative.
in yeah, and then you'll hear like 2 years later or something like that. Like we're finally making money off this thing. You can just go right out the gate making money. Just make a good game. You already have for Sony, for all the freaking companies. You already have
You-
major franchises that
You're
you
not
can
making
push.
the discs. You're not
Yeah,
making the
they-
cases.
yeah.
All you're doing is just saying, "Hey, we have an idea. Just stream it, play the damn thing." And then you're getting instant streaming, not downloading, instant streaming, instant playing. Money's raking in and all stuff. All you had to do is make the damn thing and and roll it out.
I think Microsoft is in a good position because they buy up developing studios, so they have the titles. They have the titles that they can stamp Microsoft on, right? Nintendo, they've been doing it since birth. They got their top 5 with Mario, Zelda, Kirby,
Yeah, it's
Metroid.
always the same.
Yeah,
They're good.
they're fine. Sony is the only one that I don't know.
Spider-Man.
I don't know where their headliners are. They used to have a monopoly on a whole bunch of
They
stuff,
lost a
right?
lot.
They had
Yeah,
the
they
Tomb
lost a
Raider
lot.
locked down for a little bit. They had Final Fantasy locked
Yeah,
down for a
lot of
little
Square
bit.
stuff.
But now everybody can play with those toys. So I see Sony really fearing this change of everybody going to straight
I
just
agree.
developers. I think it helps for the actual game developers that are not, tied to the big guys. They're like, we don't have to go
If
to
it's cross-platform and stuff like everyone has an opportunity to play your
Exactly.
game. You're not getting that limited audience anymore.
Yep.
So
No, which is a very good thing.
Oh yeah, you pull everything. You make games, awesome. Give me a shot. Let's throw it out there. You indie game developer, it's $2.99 for someone to play your game. Let's see if we get any bites.
I feel like with that type of switch, with this whole thing kind of changing and morphing, now what you're probably gonna have to be upgrading constantly is your TV, which we kind of already do.
But again, it's if I spend every 2 or 3 years, I'm spending 300 and 300 on a
True,
on
yeah.
a console.
No, I'm at 5. We'll say 5.
500, 500.
No, every 5 years.
Every 5
is
years.
a life cycle kind of a.
So let's say every 5 years I'm spending $1,000. So would you say that you could have a $1,000 TV for 5 years?
Wait, on consoles you spend over $1,000?
Got to think about those video games.
I'm getting.
Oh,
gotta
I thought
think
I was
about
just thinking just consoles.
if he
by
plays
itself.
he plays online, that's each year he's at least spending
60
the
bucks.
60. So you know.
Well, that's not going to go anywhere. You'll still have to probably pay for the service, correct?
Yeah, but you're taking away the big flat 300 or whatever that you spend for the console. That's one. You're probably taking away peripherals right now because you can use your old controllers already.
I'm talking all consoles too. So I'm talking
all consoles. Yeah, if you're not just buying just one.
I'm talking every 5 years. There's an Xbox, a PlayStation, and a
but now
Nintendo.
you're cutting into their profits too with taking away.
But I'm saying
the
as me as
requirements for Xbox Live.
Me as a gamer, I'm spending this much
Plus?
money to play these
he's talking
games.
he's talking about the gamer aspect.
Oh yeah, no, sorry, I
screw
jumped.
screw the big
So
companies.
I'm spending at least $1,000 every
Yeah.
5 years on just the consoles, pretty much.
and that's low balling it.
Right, and
I
that's-
think for 5 years, $1,000, you're spending way more than that.
How often? Like, when's the last time you bought a TV?
A year ago.
Okay, and before that, do you remember? Like how long
A
it
year
took?
before that, yeah.
So,
But it's,
so within
switching apartments and stuff.
within
like that,
2 years, you bought 2 different TVs.
maybe
Is that
2
what-
years before, because I had
Okay, and so each TV probably ran you
$500.
Really?
Man,
I spent
Just-
$200 on the one I have 42 inch.
This
you really don't love yourself.
sweet Roku
42 inches?
$200?
Yeah, that's all I spent.
Was it like one of those like?
was it a Roku or was it just a
Emerson-
straight ass TV?
It's I don't know the name of this company.
So I
It's a I can see TV. That's what it is.
It's one of those like Black Friday brand.
This
TV
TV was
Oh,
$399 for Christmas special,
Okay.
and it's got Roku and all the smart TV built
Yeah,
into
see,
it.
mine's in a smart TV.
Yeah, so $400, 50-inch, has everything built into it, and I don't see it going anywhere for a while.
Same with mine.
Well, no, because I'm just trying to gauge like, because again, I feel like the next thing you're upgrading constantly is the TV or the monitor that
You should have your
But
TV
that's-
for at least.
But here's the thing: like, do you need to
You might in order for you to be able to
look at something prettier?
Because
That's about it.
Well, but games and stuff are always evolving in some way or form. Like again, like
TV's
with
never
Switch
been a
and
part of
stuff,
it, though.
you
Yeah,
like
that's-
moving
yeah.
around. But like I feel to have the capability to be able to play it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not seeing
yeah,
that.
no.
I would just
yeah,
right now you can go buy this TV for like $350, $400, and you could have this thing for a minimum of 3 years without you breaking or doing whatever to it, and still be in solid state. So that extra $500 that you would have spent on another 2 systems or whatever, that's purchasing games. That's spending on that's increasing your Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it's going
your
towards the
internet
thing to
monthly,
make
blah,
this
blah,
thing.
like that's.
Yeah.
Granted, we are already paying for internet, so we're not really treating that as an extra cost, except for if whoever out there is paying for like 20 megabytes of data of internet speed, and they want to increase that to, I don't know, 50 or 100, whoever they're doing right now, and that increases your whatever $20 a month. You're spending an extra $240 a year doing that. Just to be able to have sweet ass access to playing your games and blah 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 blah. But again, you're not buying the consoles you're not buying average if they're combining Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft. You're not buying 3 consoles over a 5-year period. You're not buying the digital copies and all that shit. Granted, they're probably still going to be charging the exact same amount for streaming or whatever.
Well, the thing is, that's what I was trying to look up right now because I haven't seen any actually pricing for anything. I mean,
I don't think it'd be cheap.
well, I mean, it's got to be a monthly service, right?
Yeah,
it would make the most sense if you were paying X amount of dollars a month to be able to have.
How much do you think is a reasonable price for
you're paying Google, and then Google is distributing that based
to the developers, and then
Correct.
on top of so if you even got the big 3, right? You have them because you've taken a lot from them. You've taken their money that they make off the consoles, which you can probably exchange
at
with
it,
the cost of them
Look at it like this:
making the consoles.
average between the 3 of us here, how much are you spending on video games a month? And how many video games are you playing a month?
True.
So, on average, how many games are you playing a month? Testing, long play, whatever.
Actually, lately, no.
Yeah, like lately, it really has been down to maybe 2 games.
Okay, average. Normally, what are you playing a month?
That's true. That's
I know, again,
last year.
I'm playing Zelda
As
and
of
League of
right now,
Legends.
yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I've went to like either Wildlands or
We did play Wildlands. We played Apex, which was
Apex
free.
Legends, which was free. Yeah.
And then we played. I
I'm
played
not-
like Red Dead. I played a couple, but it's not.
Let's put an average of 5. Let's say
Five different games.
Let's
Okay.
say you're playing 5 different games a month, and how many? 5 same game. You want to keep it 5 same game a month, 5 new games a month.
I imagine you'd get through those games, so you'd probably have to buy new ones.
If you look at it, if this is month 1, and I'm going to play 5 games this month, does it change my? If I'm paying, let's just say $50. Let's for fun. Let's just say $50 a month. I'm going to play 5 games this month. If it's the same games next month, I'm still paying $50. If it's all 5 different games next month, I'm still paying $50. So no matter what, whether I'm playing someone else's game or doing whatever, I'm still paying the same amount. So I don't know where it would go to at that point. Like, hey, I didn't play any games this month. I'm still paying $50 because I'm subscribing to it.
Well,
I played 5 new games this month. So am I paying a different amount for playing this new game or
No,
whatever?
I don't
I
think
feel like
it'll
this
do
would
that
be
way.
package deals.
Yeah. I think
Like
we'll do it
you'll
that.
you'll pay $50 to use the service.
Yeah, and
You're gonna pay $70 to get this plus Microsoft.
see now
titles.
here's dangerous. Here's the dangerous part. Because when we're going into packets and stuff like that, and if we're comparing it to like Netflix and
you're
Hulu,
ripping out the whole.
You're streaming, so it's already like that.
okay, but like for Hulu, let's take Hulu. There's a service where it's free, right? And you get commercials.
Yes.
Do you think they would ever start throwing commercials?
I do.
Streaming and so okay,
I do.
so that's
I do
what I'm
think they
saying. It's
would do
dangerous
that.
because that's irritating as hell. I would not want to be playing a game and then all of a sudden, hey, how's your prostate this week? Have you checked out? You should
Well, I
use
would,
TriCast.
I would
just a
hope
good-
it would stay with
that's
like
just
the
a good
realm of the
reminder.
new games.
Was still nonetheless.
But still, yeah, no, I get
if
what
you
you're
play
saying.
the
I would-
games, if you play games like on your phone that are like free, quote unquote.
Oh, I delete games that pull up the
and
ads
they
like that.
throw
I
up
fucking
ads
delete
in your
them.
face and stuff like that. Like that's so irritating.
That's how I got free music for a while. But do you think that's outrageous?
Yes.
$50 a month.
Oh no. Okay, I thought you
No,
meant
the
the
ads.
ads.
$50 a
No,
month.
no.
No, because
Because one game can cost you $60, $70 a month.
I don't think that's too
That's
outrageous.
I think
just know-
that's, but that could be a steal technically.
I need to know one. All the new games are going to come out on this service, and there needs to be a big, massive library.
That's again. So I'm a developer, and this is a streaming subscribing service.
$600 a year.
Right, but if I buy 2 games a month, that's $120 a month. That's $1,400 a year.
I would have to see some stats on how many games are being purchased on
No,
average around the year.
Okay. So.
Because I don't know if people are buying games like they used to anymore.
Right. Well, again, but so I know that these games are coming out this month. So I'm spending $50 this month to play these games. Now, I'm a developer and I made these games over here that no one's playing. I'm not receiving any money because no one's playing these games, but everybody's paying $50 a month so they can play these games over here.
Yeah.
How are they divvying it up
I don't know
between
how,
what and what?
I don't know how they're doing. They have developers already behind them that have sworn their allegiance to them.
I'm gonna pay $50 to be able to stream this game whenever I want.
And they also have their own company too. Google is making their own video game company to make first party games.
I mean, they already own everything, so I mean, they might as
And
well.
that's the thing.
Once Google and Disney,
Like no lie, everybody here literally, most likely, probably yeah. You already have I was going to say a Sade account, a Stadia account.
you're ridiculous.
If you have a Gmail, because that's what they're using. They're just going to use your Gmail account
So we already have
to do
one.
stuff.
We
Yeah,
just don't have the perks for.
you just don't have the
Stadia.
stuff yet. Because they were even talking about how your YouTube and everything is all just hooked up.
It's always
It's
connected.
all
yeah.
through your Gmail.
Right, but do you think they're going to go the subscription way where I pay $100 a month and I can play every single video game, library, new game, blah 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 blah, or I'm going to pay
$100 a year, right?
$100 a month, yeah, $1,200 a month.
Make sure I'm terrible. At
What
math.
else? What else do you? What's the highest?
I don't.
What's the highest service, or what's the highest thing that you pay for monthly? That's a luxury. Outside
My
of
car.
outside of your bills of the cars, like entertainment,
Like something that I don't
entertainment, I
need.
should say entertainment.
Probably
Monthly though.
the thing that comes to mind is Hulu
I pay
because I pay for the no commercials and HBO.
I pay $15 a month to play WoW, and I haven't played WoW in like 4 months.
Okay, but that's the max, so 15. So now we're talking about 50, right?
Well, we just raised it to 100, but let's just say $50.
$50. I don't know.
But again, I'm not purchasing a game to own.
Okay, but look at their competition. Xbox and Sony both have services similar, right? They're $20 a month for Sony's, I want to say, and how much is $10 a month for Microsoft's, right?
What's your favorite game?
For the pass?
Their pass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's $9.99.
Yeah. So
What's your favorite game?
Tetris.
So if they came out with a new Tetris every single month,
They wouldn't. Actually, they already have.
let's go with FIFA. Let's say FIFA came out with a new game, just brand new game, completely advanced, more advanced than the previous one. They came out with one January, February, March, April, blah, blah, blah. And it was a new damn game, so they charged $60, $60, $60, $60.
I wouldn't buy it.
You would not personally. Yes, I know you.
Thank you.
But
Frugal Aaron.
I was gonna
let's
what are
say
you talking here, buddy?
let's just say you had your 12 favorite
He's
games.
not Steam Jesus.
Let's say you had your 12 favorite games, and one came out in January, one came out in February, blah blah blah, and you wanted to pay $60 to own each one, and they just happened to come out this month, this month, this month, this month. So that would put you at $720 in the year just to own that one game. So if it was $600 in a year to play all of these different games and have access whenever, then yeah, that's not bad at all. I don't think they would do that again because you bring it back to the developers who spent way too much money on their games to make it, and they're making money from whatever, and then people who didn't, spent very little money to make their games and they're making whatever. I think they'd have to make it to more of a game by game basis than just full access. Pay this much for Microsoft, pay this much for Sony.
So instead of a subscription service,
They'd have to do it.
It'd have to be how it is now, pay per game.
It's not going to be $50 a month.
It's not.
I can't see it being a holistic amount to play every single game. I can't see it being here, pay this much to have all Microsoft game access. Hey, pay this much. I think they'd have to make it more, because how else are you going to make sure that they'll be able to see who's playing what game.
Yeah.
But I'm still paying this amount to play every game, and I'm only playing one.
So they'll probably have tiers. I mean,
yeah, but how are they going to tier again? How are they going to tier it? This much for Microsoft, this much for Sony, this much for Nintendo.
probably. Or do you want packages for TV shows? Do you want HBO? Do you want Showtime? Do you want? Maybe I just want Nintendo games. Maybe I just want Sony games. Maybe I want Sony and Microsoft games, no Nintendo games. I mean, they could tier it that way. I don't know.
They could. I honestly think they should.
That's where you get into
I think they
subscriptions, though.
I think
That's what I'm saying.
Plans.
Well, yeah, that's
And
what
again,
the tiers.
Sorry,
that's what
I was
we're
trying to look up
if
the
it
average.
was $50 a
person
month,
spending habit.
if it was $50 a month for me to play every single game that was on there, I'd have zero problem with it. Because
For how much a month?
$50 a month.
$50 a month.
But if it was $100 a month,
Again,
you
it
got
comes
a
out
little.
to, what, 600? We said,
Right. But again, if I buy a game a month, that's $60 plus that's $64 a month to buy a game every month.
I don't see people buying games like that a month.
It's-
Games don't even come out like that a month.
I'm throwing it.
I know. I see what your.
Yeah, you're
I
trying to
literally see what your
screw
point
around.
is.
But
in reality,
ideally, if every month a new game comes out, you're paying.
Yeah,
And I'm not talking about your micro Steam purchases and stuff like that.
So it's $100 for PlayStation
That's
now.
a lot of math.
$100 a month. I mean, $100 not a month. Excuse me. For
$100 a month.
PlayStation and Xbox Game Pass, both of their things. PlayStation Now, Xbox Game Pass.
$100 a year.
$100 a year for PlayStation's, $120 for
Microsoft.
Microsoft's. They want to compete. Google wants to compete. They're not going to go above that. So they're definitely not going to do the 50 thing. When they come out and launch, they're probably not going to have the same amount of games as the other two. Even AAA titles. Just like they'll probably have a whole bunch of indie stuff or something like that, but they will not have the big name titles.
They'll have third-party games.
Yeah, they'll have third-party games, and of course they're not going to have first-party. Well, they might have a couple.
Diablo on
first-party
the
games.
mobile.
So
Get out.
so
Get out.
So they need something to come through because like I think their problem is, they're not known for this. Same thing.
No,
because
Wasn't
like
a whole new.
Well, how?
because you had the Steam machine. Steam is known for video games, and they still couldn't sell that
Oh,
crap.
Well, because it was who was it marketed to? Question.
It was who was it marketed to,
I know somebody that bought it.
and I
Who?
feel sorry for that person.
I was playing.
Yes,
I
I
don't
feel
know
sorry
who
for
you
that. But
Who?
anyway,
It's Kyle.
they're they're on an uphill battle, but they have the cash they have the Bruce Wayne behind it
Right.
to knock that out with all that money. Like they own the world, what's owning a little section of it with a video game. So we'll figure it out when it all comes out.
I like where it's going. I mean, it makes sense, but
it will be released this year though too.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Really?
it is coming out this year. So get
Steven's right. We're not ready. Winter's coming.
Get your
You're not ready for
bodies
this.
Ready
You're
for
not.
that one. All right, we definitely gotta wrap this one
Where
up.
are we on hour 3?
We're on hour and 20 minutes or something like that.
Oh God.
Maybe.
So it was an interesting show. We spent the first half on movies. Can't even say the first half. We spent the first three threes.
What?
I maths.
He's
everybody.
right.
I maths
My
everybody.
brain hurts. Too much thinking.
What do we got?
It's because someone's blocking his mind right now.
What do we?
Son of a
Terrible.
bitch. Oh, just my mind apparently, according to you guys, because I'm the one person.
He's always sitting in
out
his
of a
chair,
million
Steven.
beings. Fuck out of my
He's always
face.
in his chair.
And imagine this: he has to sit down his entire life.
His legs would hurt, Steven.
Okay. League of Extraordinary Guessers on the 25th of this month on a Monday, everybody, of March. I have been so freaking brain fried that I put April 25th, and it is not April 25th, everybody. It is March.
Not yet.
That's where we're at. So if you're listening
Wait, did
to
I
this,
print out a flyer? That's
No.
April? Oh.
I tweeted the wrong thing, not the flyer.
Okay.
I tweeted the wrong thing. We got that going on. We've still in the works of developing another podcast. Everybody, Uncanny. I guess I could say the
Yeah,
name.
you can say the name. Man.
We'll be practicing. We still on for practicing?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. That sounds without context.
Yeah, that's all videotape. It's fine.
So we're still developing that.
There's chairs involved.
Coming to a Pornhub near you.
Anything else we're doing? We'll probably doing some more Let's Plays in the future, of course. We sorry for not uploading the podcast to the YouTubers if you haven't.
You're ridiculous.
So that
We
was
lost those views.
100% my fault on that one. I will take all the blame on that
Yeah,
one, but whatever.
Tweet them at what is your?
That's the other thing. Our social media, everybody.
Oh,
we were hacked.
somebody
we lost our Instagram, but we
somebody
got a new
snitched.
one. We got a new
There's a
one.
narc out there.
It is before you log off again. Just use underscores as a space. Because we always just keep before you log off with pretty much everything except for the YouTube, which is BYLO Network, BYLO Network, which is before you log off network. Anyway,
That's on YouTube. Yeah.
thank you for the tweets that you've been tweeting to us. Really loved the answer or the question today that took up half the show.
It's all Steven's fault. I blame Steven.
What? It's the movies thing, not the Professor Childs example.
Hey, that kind of all spun into that one. So yeah, I mean, keep coming back with feedback.
still
We love
stand
hearing
over
it from
it.
you guys. What else? So we got everything.
Am I the crazy one, or is these two crazy?
So I think it's time to. Are we done? We good?
It's time
We
to
wrapping
wrap
it
it up, B.
All right, you want to close this out, Steam Jesus? New album?
I don't even know what he says.
That's horrible. Okay, that's enough for the internet today. This is Steven.
Oh, that's enough for the internet, guys.
That's Adam over there.
Over there, he's
Aaron
pointing.
Carter,
You want to put your fingers to your mind and tell them goodbye?
and
Think deep.
No, that's definitely enough for the internet.
You want to finger yourself?
Good night, everybody.